Hello everyone, and welcome back to another one with me, Miss Whitney B. So today I wanted to talk about some things that have been coming up that I've been working on. Demagnetizing Karma. So this is definitely a self-mastery series video. Before we get into demagnetizing karma and the ways in which I go about it, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you guys have tips and tricks and tools for demagnetizing karma, please do drop them below and share with others. This is a place where we get to learn. I want a platform, or I want this channel to be a platform for others to learn self-mastery for themselves. And there are 1,000,001 ways to go about this. I'm not saying I have the right answer. I'm just saying I have the skills and tools that I have used and learned to do this work with. And so I welcome you to please do take it with a grain of salt, to follow your own intuition, to listen to your inner being, and to do with this as you will. Like, if this is contrast for you and this doesn't work at all, beautiful. Use it for contrast. That's fantastic. If it's food for thought, or a wondering moment, or curiosity, or if it aligns with you and resonates and helps you align, fantastic. Rock on, rock star. So 1 second. I have the fan on and I feel like that's kind of loud, so I hope you can hear me well. So we are getting into demagnetizing karma, a karmic cycle. And so say, for example, that someone is reflecting back to you something you don't like. So say someone is coming to you and telling you that they don't believe you're capable of doing the work that you're doing. For example, say like you believe in your mission, you think you're in alignment, you're like, yes, I'm doing this work. And for example, you're sharing content with others and you get some feedback, maybe a nasty comment, or maybe pushback from family people or people in your lives, or just random strangers, whatever, it could be any way. But getting a pushback of how, like, oh, you're not very good, or you're not good enough, or your content isn't cool, or it's boring, or you know what, they just don't like what you're doing. And so one of the tips that I have learned, and I was literally just talking about this morning with my really good friend over at Soul Deep Intuitions. We were talking about different times that these situations have arisen for us and ways that we have let go or learn to find a solution for ourselves to get through this, and to not be drawn to that anymore, to not be bothered by it. And so some of the steps that we were talking about are, first of all, face it and say, okay, this is what's going on. I can understand, I can accept that you could feel that way, but that's not true for me. Going into acceptance, compassion, and surrender, recognizing that we're one. It's okay. I've had those thoughts, I've had those feelings, and it's okay that person is reflecting that back to me. From there, I then go right into what I know about me, what I know about what I'm doing. So what? It could have been better? Cool. Maybe to me it is great and I love it and I find it totally good enough. And so then I can then look at that comment, that situation, and go, you know what? It's so okay that you were there. It's so okay that that's where you were at and that was the response you gave. I have compassion and understanding for you. I don't find that to be true, and that's okay. We can disagree. Agree to disagree, and then let it go and move on. Have that conversation with yourself for wherever you're at, wherever this person is at, whatever, whoever the person is. I just had an experience like that in my personal life, and this person and I are coming from two different perspectives. And this person feels one way. I feel the reflection of that in another way, and I'm willing to accept that person feels that way. That's okay. Again, we don't have to agree. We don't. It's okay if we're looking at it from different perspectives. It's good enough. And so going into that place of so good enough, reflecting that back to the person in contrast and saying, you know what? Okay, that's okay. I accept that. I love you and I respect that you are where you are. And I also respect that we're in different places with that, and that's okay. Because one of the things that I have learned from another really good friend of mine, LK. He is an excellent mediator. And he is so good at telling me and reminding me about how conflict is normal. The point is creating mutual understanding and having respect for each other. We don't have to agree. That's okay. But I can accept that that's where you are. The whole point, especially in a bond relationship, like a committed, bonded relationship, and really, I don't feel that that matters. I think that that's putting a separation on it by putting a label. I think that it is okay to say, you know what? We don't agree, and that's cool. And not be mad about it. And then to leave it alone or to walk away and get into a space, a mindset. Because sometimes I know I'm not in the mindset to be rational about it. When I get triggered, I am instantly in my trigger. My ego's up, my defense is up. And so then what I'm learning is to step back. Don't engage. Don't allow it to go farther than that. It's okay that we don't agree. It's okay that we don't see things the same. It's okay that our perspectives are different. We don't have to go into shaming and blaming and arguing and sniping and being nasty to each other, going into our egos to fight about how one stance or the other stance is better than. That only creates more separation. There's no need to do that. And so instead, just going into acceptance, okay, we have different perspectives and that's okay. We don't have to have this conversation right now. Maybe we can approach it again later at another time when we're both not feeling triggered or have more clarity and can actually sit down and listen to each other and work on it. Because again, the point is creating mutual understanding and having respect. That's the point. And so love yourself, be love for others. Now, I'm not saying that if someone is being harmful or hurtful to you, that you should continue to have conversation with them. No. Take self-care, have self-love, take boundaries, be accountable, but also be willing to listen and to have an open mind and to maybe learn something. Because whether or not you feel the same way as that person does, and they have a right to feel that way. And compassion, respect, care, kindness, these are all very quality things to share in relationships and to just share with each other. We don't have to agree. We don't have to like the same things. We don't have to think the same things. But I can still just be kind to you. I can still respect you for being different, even though I don't agree. We do not have to polarize each other. Because that's what ends up happening. That's how we get magnetized into it in the first place, is we polarize to it instead of transforming. By polarizing, we're going into separation. Oh, you're here and I'm here and they can't go together. They're in conflict. Are they really? And sometimes, yes. Sometimes, yes, they are. But in most situations, it's about not polarizing. It's about going into acceptance and understanding and surrender and saying, okay, it's okay. It's okay that we don't agree. How can I listen? How can I be more open, flexible, understanding to really hear what this person is trying to convey, to really understand what they're trying to say, and then to reflect back through conversation that I'm listening and that I'm seeking to understand, and that I respect you for even being willing to have this conversation. Because that's the thing, guys, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to speak the truth. You have to have trust that it's okay. Even if the other person doesn't receive you well, you still came as your best self. You still came speaking authenticity, speaking truth, speaking from your heart, and then having boundaries so that even if somebody doesn't agree with you, you don't choose, or I don't choose. For me, it's not about anybody else, but me. I don't choose as much as I possibly can. Not to say I'm not human and I don't get triggered, because I do. I just did a little while ago, which is exactly why I'm making this video. But doing my very best to choose consciously to be the creator rather than going off of old programming. Instead of just falling back into shaming, blaming, arguing, fighting, disrespecting, not being willing to listen, being closed-minded, going into an open mind and saying, okay. Even if I don't understand, I can choose to have compassion. I can accept that you and I aren't looking at this, or that you have your own opinions, and then they are different than mine. I respect that this is where you're coming from and that this is how you feel. I don't have to agree with it, but I can still choose to have compassion. And then letting it go. Don't then polarize to it and go, this person felt this way and I feel this way, and then focusing on that conflict, because then what happens is you program in all that conflict and you create all that turmoil. Now, sometimes that's important because pain teaches growth. Pain teaches us to expand. This isn't working. This doesn't feel good. I don't like this. And the sharper the degree of that, the more we are going to want to create a change. And so it's beautiful. Magnetizing and polarization has helped us, is beautiful contrast, and helps us to grow. It's like learning how to use that as a stepping stool rather than as something that oppresses ourselves. And so I hope this helps. Please do feel free to leave some comments below about what served you, what resonated. Again, other tips and tools and tricks that you use, or methods that you've used to do this integration work and to depolarize. I love hearing about it. I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon or day or morning, wherever you're coming from. I wish you well. Bye, guys. Thank you.